The first unit of biology we will study this year is ecology. Our approach to biology will be to start with the big stuff we can see and work our way down to the little stuff and how it behaves. So ecology includes relationships between living things and their environment. Their environment includes a lot more than you might think. Not only does it include the physical stuff like the place they live in, the water, the soil, sunlight, mountains, and other geographical features, but it also includes all of the living things they interact with and influence their lives. Basically, everything around them. Because their environment is so broad, we divide it into two groups. Biotic factors include everything living that influences an organism. Bio means living, so biotic are living factors. Some examples of biotic factors are the food an organism eats, whether they eat plants, animals, dead and decomposing plants and animals, or a combination of these things. They're all considered biotic factors. Something else alive that influences the life of an organism are all the other things that compete for the same food source. It causes an animal to behave in a certain way, to come up with hunting strategies, or causes them to move to different areas. Predators that eat the organism also influence it. Another biotic factor you might not think of are the trees that provide an animal with shade or shelter from the rain. But since it's alive, the organism interacts with it, it's considered a biotic factor. There are also many non-living things that influence an organism. Abiotic factors are things that are not alive. The prefix a means not, so abiotic means not living factors. These are physical components and features of the environment. The amount of sunlight, temperature, and the amount of humidity are features of the environment. Physical components of the environment include things like the type of soil, water, and mountains. Notice shade is listed as an abiotic feature. Some things in the environment are a little tricky to put into just one category. A tree is a living thing that can provide shade, so while the tree itself is a biotic factor, it produces shade, which is an abiotic factor. So it's hard to put a tree that provides shade into just one category. Looking at this picture, make a list of the biotic and abiotic features that you see. Ecologists also divide an organism's environment into different levels. The smallest level is the individual, just one single organism. A group of individuals, all of the same species, is referred to as a population. Species might seem like an easy word to define because we've heard it probably in science class and in everyday life for a long time, but its exact meaning is a little tricky. It's not difficult to determine whether two living organisms are of the same species. If they can mate and produce fertile offspring, then they belong to the same species. There are some animals that even though they can produce healthy offspring together, they're not the same species because the offspring can't reproduce. A liger is an example you may have heard of. A liger has been produced in captivity by breeding a tiger and a lion. However, that's the only way to get a baby liger. Two ligers can't mate to produce another liger. So lions and tigers, we know, are different species. But it's a lot trickier to tell if animals that were alive a long time ago are the same species. Some different species look very similar to each other, but other animals of the same species might look very different from each other. All dogs, regardless of the breed, are the same species. They can all mate and produce fertile offspring, and that's how you get a lot of mutts. Different populations that live in the same area are considered a community. So all the birds, squirrels, rabbits, trees, insects that live in the same wooded area are considered part of the same community. The ecosystem is the next largest layer as we move up. The ecosystem includes all the living things in a particular area and also their physical environment. So all the levels of organization up to this point have included only biotic factors. But an ecosystem is the first level of organization to also include abiotic factors. A biome is a group of ecosystems with a similar climate. Ecosystems that make up a biome could be located on different sides of the world. The map on this page shows in shades and colors of different biomes you can see and how widely they're spread throughout the whole world. We live in a biome called the temperate grasslands. They're bright green on this map. There are some forests around, but the main feature of our biome are cold winters, hot summers, and more grassland than forest. You'll find these same features in areas like southern South America and parts of western China. And because we have the same climates, you'll also find similar plants and animals that live in the same biomes. So the plants and animals that live in western China are very similar to the things that you find here in the Midwest. Finally, the largest level of organization is the biosphere. It includes our entire planet, along with all the organisms and all the physical environments. Essentially, all the abiotic and biotic factors on Earth. I like this picture because it's a good visual of how each larger level of organization includes the smaller ones beneath it. The black boxes are hiding the names of levels of organization. See if you can name all 7 levels just looking at the picture.